Hey beauties, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the one and only Clean Beauty Podcast. Did you know that in America, cosmetics are not regulated? Companies are free to add thousands of potentially harmful ingredients that personally cause me to have health problems. Hi, I'm the creator of Lash Binder and your host, Cassandra McClure. I've worked in the beauty industry worldwide for over 10 years as a wedding and celebrity makeup artist. Now, I'm on a mission to ban 1,500 ingredients by advocating for cleaner and greener cosmetics. Join me every Monday right here for a new episode on the Clean Beauty Revolution. So I'm super excited to introduce to you Vanessa Bruce. She's the co-founder and COO at Doe, is an award-winning patent-holding designer, operator, and founder, and she's passionate about conscious consumerism and the ability to drive change with our purchase power. Her work has been featured in Fortune, Bustle, and the New York Times, as well as recognized by the Stevie Awards, Adobe Creative Jams, and W3, just to name a few. Before Doe, Vanessa was a co-founder and partner at Six Things, an award-winning female-owned plus operated brand studio. She has worked with 50 plus clients, including JetBlue, Disney, and Jada Pinkett Smith, which we all want to hear more about. So I'm really excited. Welcome to the show, Vanessa.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Coming live from Boston. We are doing another video interview. So if you guys are interested in seeing this, or you're already watching on YouTube or IGTV, that's so awesome. We're so happy to have you here. And you guys voted for more videos, so we're here doing them live. So this is really cool. I'm here in California. Vanessa's over across the country, and we made this happen in under 2 weeks. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, I was connected through my mentor, Lynn Power. She told me about Doe. I found out about it and I was like, why have I never heard of this? It's so great. I'm all about empowering women and working with them and coaching them. And it sounds like Doe empowers women by sharing their products on a platform. And with Lash Binder, we're trying to reach as many women as possible and empower them. And so we thought this was a really great fit. And I said, why don't we also put this on the show? That was totally my idea. And that just happened like literally in 2 weeks. And that's how, I don't know, great partnerships work. So I'm super, super excited for this and for everyone else that's going to get a little piece of the pie here today. So thanks so much for joining me on such short notice. And let's first talk about conscious consumerism, because I always talk about voting with the dollars on the show. All the listeners know they talk about that all the time when it comes to beauty. But let's talk a little bit more in depth about that.
100%. So at Doe, we're all about knowing who's behind the brands that you buy every day. And so at the forefront for everything we show on Doe, you're introduced to the founder, you hear their story, you see their photo along with their products. So it's very transparent about who's behind the brands that are being built. And so for myself, I actually got really into the organic movement like in the early 2010s, and it just was serendipitous that it moved on to beauty, that it moved on to apparel, and just became a part of Doe's like core mission and values, is that we're just super conscious about where we're purchasing from. And also when we purchase from a woman-owned brand, we're actually direct growth to her business, which can lead to representation in the C-suite and beyond, which is really powerful. So I'm totally about voting with your dollars, even if it's just swapping out your face wash or your deodorant that you use on the daily. Those small changes can make a big difference.
That's so true. Yeah, I mean, a few purchases, or one purchase from one brand just over the holiday season, learning about, something from a farmer's market, or that's why holiday shopping, like the pop-ups are getting so popular, because you want to feel more connected, right? You don't want to just walk into a major retailer and not know anything about the person, the brand. You don't get to hear the story. You don't have any kind of, you could walk into a holiday party and say, oh my God, she's so cute. Like, I want to go talk to her. I love her necklace. I want to know what kind of candles. And, even though you might not be a candle person, you'll still go and you'll still support that woman that's in your community and support that local economy. So that's so, so great. And I love that you guys are doing that on a larger scale too, through your platform, through, basically like email marketing and through your website, right?
100%, totally digital right now. We've been partnering with some local Boston pop-ups. There's Boston Women's Market, who's amazing. They just had their holiday market, and there's We Are Women Owned in New York. So there's so many great local movements that are happening, and we really wanted to bring this to a national level where everyone could shop on digital. So on Cyber Monday, on Black Friday, like you can go to Joe and direct your holiday dollars to women owned.
Awesome. So tell us
Yeah.
how Joe got started and what really it is so that people can
hmm
understand and tell them where they can go sign up right now to like begin being in the loop.
For sure. So basically, it started over a coffee conversation very organically between Anna and I. We had both been founders, myself at the agency and herself at Fashion Project, where she drove dollars to charity through secondhand fashion. And we were just chatting about our experiences as women in tech, as female founders. And we were like, is there a way that we could take what happened at Fashion Project, where she directed dollars to charity, and do that for women owned businesses instead? And so that's how Doe was formed. Is actually formed over coffee and text messages with articles about stats, and some of them are really discouraging, like the 3% of venture capital goes to women. But we were like, how can we flip that narrative and change that? So one of our favorite things to say is like, if everybody in the US spent $20 a month at a women owned business, we drive nearly $5 billion monthly. And that is so powerful when you think about the scale. So that's
Wow,
how it all got started. Yeah.
that's amazing. So and how do people get involved or find out about
Yes.
it is they subscribe and you guys
hmm
have a monthly or a weekly deal, right?
We actually have a daily deal. Yeah.
Ooh,
So
okay,
there's
wow.
two ways to get involved. So right now we launch daily weekday deals. So every day at 8 a.m., you can get an email in your inbox and know exactly what the deal is that day for 24 hours. And we also have other ways. Like if you don't like the daily email, we get it. There's a weekly email you can sign up for where you get a Sunday issue, which is kind of the lineup of the week. And then you can also follow us on Instagram if just email isn't your jam. We also post all the deals there so you don't have to miss a thing.
Oh, great. And
Yeah.
then when it comes to the local markets, you're partnering with brands that are actually based women-owned founded businesses in Boston. And is that something you guys are working
hmm
on expanding or having other people like co-host or create or?
Yeah. We're totally thinking about expanding. We would love to go more local. Boston is a great community, so obviously we're going to start here. So we're located; it's our home. But we have dreams of going all around the country with pop-ups. But right now, it's like we're partnering with really amazing women that are locally here, like Boston Women's Market, for instance. They work with vendors already, and they so we co-hosted actually a month ago a Wallet Feminist event with them, where we talked all about wallet feminism, which is what we call directing your dollars to women, and also had a little pop up with them, and that was great. So we're really hoping to do more of those in the future as well.
That's great. So how many women have been featured through your community?
Over 200. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Which is great. I mean, I feel so lucky that we get to meet so many inspired women like yourself every day, right? Like every day we meet a new person and we're like, oh my God, did you see like what she's making? I want this right now. And just, it's just so amazing. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be in the space we're in. Yeah.
Awesome. So what are your like future plans or like what are you guys working on next?
So right now we're really heavily focused on the daily deal for sure. Really growing that audience. We also have on the side a membership that we're planning on growing as well. So membership is if you don't want to just get one deal a day, you can get access to thousands of products instantly with hundreds of brands that we partnered with. So really just growing those in tandem and eventually probably doing more, like you said, like the physical local events as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And are there you guys have been doing this for a couple years now, right?
2018. Yeah.
2018. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
fairly new.
Fairly new.
Okay, cool. And then just kind of going back to like the cost and the pay like
hmm
you'd mentioned in the notes before we talked about transparent pay to fight the wage gap. Like can you expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, 100%. So along with just like, living our values and shopping consciously, we also believe in building a team and fighting the wage gap as well. So one of the biggest studies that have been done is that a transparent pay scale can actually help fight the gap because you're getting paid what the position is worth, for the level you're at. So at Doe from the very beginning, we've had transparent pay. It's actually on our website. You can go and see what everyone's making anonymously at our site. And we actually modeled that off of some Silicon Valley tech companies that are kind of leading the way there, including Buffer, which is a huge social media platform. They post everybody's salary and have a whole formula for it. And we really wanted to be sure that we were in that space, that we were living those values from the beginning, because at Doe, we're all about trying to close the capital gap, close the page gap, and just increase inclusivity and representation overall.
That's really cool. How many people
Yeah.
work at Doe?
There are 9 of us altogether, like some part-time, some full-time, some contract, yeah. We're a
Very cool.
great little team. Yeah.
And everyone's in Boston?
Everyone except Christine. Christine, our VP of partnership, she's over in Cleveland. Yeah,
Oh,
so she's
awesome.
remote. Yeah.
Cool. And then how did you guys
Yeah.
meet?
How did Anna and I meet? Or how did, like, everyone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
your partner.
For sure. So Anna actually, when she was at Fashion Project, I got introduced to do some consulting over there because I always freelanced. I was a designer in my previous life before being a founder, and still design to this day. But that's how I got introduced to Anna
You were a
and
fashion
did a
designer?
lot of work for Fashion Project. I wasn't a fashion designer. I did do a fashion merchandising internship way back in the day. My sister-in-law is actually a fashion designer.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so always like design has been a big part of my life. That fashion project, they did like their product design, like their website, their blog, emails,
Oh,
all
cool.
that. And that's how Anna and I connected. And then when I went on to Six Things, which was a brand studio, she was actually one of our clients with another company she was starting. So we just always kept in touch and worked really well together.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
how did you find the other women that work at Doe?
100%. A lot of personal networks, honestly. So Christine is actually Anna's former partner from Fashion Project. And then Lindsay, who came over with us, she actually was an intern of mine at Six Things. And then we were really lucky to find the rest of our team just through like working our Boston networks and job postings, tons of interviews. But really, we wanted to focus on building the right team when you're so small. So lots of culture interviews, getting drinks, getting breakfast, getting like, okay, can we work really close together while we're getting a product launched at midnight, right? So um, a lot of hard work there to build the team for sure.
That's really cool. So,
Yeah.
um, co-working in events and doing that sort of thing, you would say is like, for maybe anyone looking to join your team, like that's kind
hmm
of what they would be looking at, or if they want to start their own, something, that's kind of important, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I think it like totally depends on your personality type too, right? Like they're extrovert and introverts, all that. I'm personally an introvert. I make a like my goal for myself each week is to get one coffee or breakfast with someone new every week, and that's how I build my network and meet so many amazing people and human beings. So that is actually a couple of ways that we've met people on our team. Yeah,
Oh,
so I'd say just like setting those goals for yourself, being that you're going to a big event and you're chatting away and talking with people, or if you're more like me and those big events kind of drain your energy, like doing those one-on-one authentic connections weekly.
that's really cool. That's a great
Yeah.
tip for people as well that have those same, I mean, for me, it was anxiety for a long time.
Mhm.
Takes a lot to kind of get out there. Uh, so
100%.
podcast works for me.
Yeah, exactly. Same for me.
Yeah. So your mission is to empower everyone to shop from women-owned businesses in order to
Mhm.
create economic equity. When
Mhm.
women rise, we all do. That's a really cool mission. So what else can, let's say, I'm going to speak for probably a lot of people here, like
Mhm.
someone that doesn't really have the funds to like be able to support someone every single week and buy something new, or they don't really feel like they really need
Mhm.
it. What how else can they support a business or support you guys at Doe?
100%. So there's multiple ways you can support without the monetary value. So sharing, following, just giving shout outs actually mean the world to, I would say, all founders, right? Just like we read every single note. So just like amplifying your voice that way is a great way to get activated. I think the other thing to note too is it doesn't have to be large purchases, right, that you need to be making to make a difference. It can be you're choosing to buy late July tortilla chips versus the store brand. It could be that you're choosing to get like this bar saves lives or Lara bars over Cliff bars. It could be the deodorant you're buying. So I think like realizing even like those little everyday things that you need to use, where you're getting your coffee, for instance, you can make little impacts there as well, which is why we love that $20 stat a month, because $20 is something that most Americans are spending on some household necessity. Yeah.
Totally. Well, thanks for breaking that down and reminding people of that. I think that nowadays the term influencer is like used on this scale where it's
Hmm.
like people think you have millions or they think Kim Kardashian is an influencer, but I tell my friends and women in our Rising Tide group every single time that they all have the influential power, even with 20 followers or 100 followers. Like those are people
100%.
looking at their pages and actually probably having a bigger impact than someone with a million because they're really connected to those 20 people
Hmm.
much closer. And so I think being able to share in a story and say, "Oh my god, look what was on Doge today." Like, check out this
Yeah.
brand. Not really something I need because I don't have a child that needs this particular pacifier,
Hmm.
but like maybe a mom I know might need it. And doing
100%.
yeah, I think that that's like
Yeah.
something a lot of us just don't do because we feel like we don't have an impact or we're not getting
Hmm.
paid to share. But if like I think it's so powerful and I believe in karma and I think that if you're
Yep.
doing that, that it'll come back to you. You don't do it to feel like you're going to get something back. You
Hmm.
kind of have to do it willingly and openly, but definitely I think sharing is super key. Well, I wanted to thank you when you filled out your form submission too, because it's not always common that someone is like, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in doing an ad on the show and I'm like interested in sponsoring a future show." And I
Yeah.
even posted it in my story and I was like, these are the kind of people that I work with now. Like I learned
Hmm.
so much in the year that I've had people on the show that like didn't even talk about being on the show after I produced an episode for 2 hours, you know.
Yeah.
And and it's just like it's crazy that they don't even it's like they don't even care. Like I'm just supposed to be free advertising for them. So thank you for that because things are changing
100%.
here at the show. So I really, really appreciate that. And I appreciate your review as well. Thank you so much for that. So um is there anything else you want to leave everybody with for the holiday season? This is going out like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited that this is going to be produced so fast. And we're not even in December. So you guys can get all your
I
holiday shopping
know.
done early. Uh, so yeah, really excited. So is there anything else you might want to, that I forgot?
No, I mean, I think we hit a lot of the big points. I think just, being conscious about where your dollars are going this holiday season. I also just love giving gifts with a story behind them. Like, actually, my cousin is pregnant right now, and her baby shower is in January, but I already gave her gift. It's like these cute little woodland creature pillows from Amani Collective, someone that we feature on Doe. And when I gave them to her, she's like, "Oh, is this from Doe? Can you tell me the story?" And like, we were talking about the story about it. And I think like those gifts are so impactful, right? Being able to like give something and be like, well, let me tell you about actually who made this and where it's from and how it's making an impact. So I think just like those are great gifts to give, meaningful. I think the second part of it is to you can also gift Dough membership. So if, like you're unsure if you are buying something for someone, you can actually gift them a year of Dough where they would get exclusive access to all the deals first and free shipping and all those like member benefits that come around with it. So I would just say everyone have a great holiday and shop consciously and meaningfully is how I
That's
put it.
really cool. I like the
Yeah.
add-on of sharing the story because it's I mean, even if you're sending it to someone, you could be like, "Hey, before
Yeah.
you open this gift, like hop on a Zoom call with me or a Skype
Mhm.
call and let's like talk about it." Um and I think that those gifts in my own life have been the most meaningful, even like my grandma who made me a blanket that I still have, or like I just recently
Yes.
gave my girlfriend like a bunch of I gave her a whole gift box and asked her to be my matron of honor, and it was all unicorn things because she's my unicorn, like my
I
unicorn.
love that.
And she
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
it was way more meaningful because as she opened each thing, I was sitting there
Mhm.
talking to her about it, and it was cooler for both of us. And so instead of just, even though she might not have needed the little unicorn thing to like go on her nightstand,
Yeah.
now she probably looks at it and thinks of the story that I told her, and it makes it that much more special. And it didn't have to be really expensive because I don't have the
Nope.
biggest budget to give her like a gold unicorn, right? I just wanted to get her
Yeah.
a thing. So I think that's
I love
such a
that.
good point. And I think the holidays are really about gifting from your heart and gifting
Mhm.
even a story. If you can't give a gift, is would be
Yep.
really cool to be like, or writing them a poem or doing whatever.
Mhm.
So and also sharing.
Experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sharing an experience. So thanks again for coming on, and again for
100%.
featuring Lash Binder and supporting my small business. We didn't
100%.
know we'd make it here today, so it's really, really cool. And also the podcast, like we just celebrated our year. And so I'm
Congratulations. That's
here
awesome.
episode after our year. So you're our first. And so I'm really, really excited for that too. So thanks for your contribution. And I can't wait to connect with all of your dough ladies. This episode is made possible by our official sponsor, Lash Binder, the world's quickest, easiest, and safest way to apply strip lashes. If you've ever tried applying lashes, you've used your fingers, which is unsanitary and difficult, a pair of tweezers, which is dangerous, or you've tried lash extensions, which can be expensive, damaging, and time consuming. Lash Binder is a discreet applicator that'll have your lashes on securely in under a minute anywhere in the world. Get a lash starter kit today at lashbinder.com with the code CLEANBEAUTYPODCAST for 25% off. Happy lashing! Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Clean Beauty Podcast. For information on my tour schedule, upcoming events, press announcements, joining my Clean Beauty team, or to book me to speak at your next event, head over to my website, CassandraMcClure.com.